what about just, in where you are, what is your concept of the man and the woman? You could say globally, but ultimately, you really need to understand what that is for you.
It has morphed in a good way. I always felt like gender roles were blurred because there were things that I was taught men and women were supposed to do, and I was fine with that. I think I repeated it last night. I felt like the destruction of the ultimate destruction of the family is, they kicked the man out and made government the protector and the provider. But then when the woman was forced to go out of the house because the protector provider role was now in her seat, she had to. You took the nurturing aspect out of the household, and so what did that do? That continued the dichotomy of man and woman, and it has been perversely butchered in human society. And so you take that in, it's like you say, you got a t-shirt, you are what you eat. And then you hear women starting out, I believe the term I heard last night or at some point was lamenting over the struggles and the challenges that they had, and that lamenting didn't uplift them or bring them through a period of, okay, this is what I have to do now. It made them bitter. And you grow up and you hear the bitterness even in quote unquote the nuclear family. And so you take in all that programming, and if you know nothing different, excuse me, then it becomes a part of who you are. The sad part is that you don't even understand. You know something's not right, but you don't understand, or you're too scared to try to speak against it. Initially, I did, but it got beat out of me and reprogrammed. The long and the short of that is it did permeate into the reason why I've been working on this podcast. And where I'm at now with the role of man and woman, oh my goodness. Eyes are no longer wide shut.
What does that mean?
That means I've been walking around with my eyes open, seeing things, but not really dealing with them in truth. And so when you're walking around with your eyes wide shut, it's like a form of cognitive dissonance, if that makes sense.
It does.
So we've been in the age of the apocalypse for a long time. But here's the thing. When you cross over into Armageddon, which is what my lack of care caused in this household. But being a Bible scholar, I know Armageddon wasn't the end. It was a tip-off of the war. But the righteous always prevail. And so I say righteous in a sense of I was sinking in my own shit. And we both know I can't swim unless it's in a pool on a cruise ship. But I was not prepared to die. Not in a pool of shit. Because I don't want to come back. I want my soul to be able to go to the next level. So when it's time for me to get up out of here, I don't want to come back. I want to go higher and higher. And ultimately, I want to go higher and higher with the person that I was formed and created to be with, which is you. So what does that mean? I had to get my shit straight. I had to fall in love with me. Not in a romanticized fall in love with me. But I had to fall in love with me, because sometimes love is dirty. I had to fall in love with me enough to save me. so that I could come and sit and say, you know what? At the end of the day, the best I can hope for is to fix my friendship with my best friend. And you probably maybe didn't even notice that I'm wearing your ring.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because in the Western countries, in the Eastern countries, they signify marriage with ring on the left hand side. And in this Western society, we've been duped into doing everything the exact opposite. Okay, marriage means a whole bunch of things to a whole bunch of people. But in my heart, I had to stay married to the possibility of there being a real us, without all the fake shit, without all the pretense, without all the trying to get in and fit in a different sense. And now I feel like I have almost a clean slate. And I say almost a clean slate, and we had the conversation and you told me your debt is paid, but I say almost a clean slate because I still have residue.
Yeah, I was lying about that too.
Okay.
You can never pay a debt like that. You just move on from it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, again, that's why I said I almost have a clean slate.
Yeah. Because
there's still work to be done.
It's like this. You have a slate, but the slate has a crack in it. Yeah, the crack don't go away. The crack is forever there. You just don't write on the damn crack.
Or you mend the crack.
Yeah, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there, but you can do whatever it is that you can to prevent the crack from getting bigger, but it's still there.
Right. Even if that piece falls off, right on another piece of the board. Yeah. Okay.
So, to sum this all up, I have a completely different perspective and appreciation for the role of man and the role of man and woman in unity in the nuclear family.
Okay.